Thank you for joining us and welcome to Marriage Gone Divorce. We'll be starting in just a few, so get your favorite drink, your snacks, and by all means, subscribe, share, and like. See you in a few.
I wanna run like I'm 18, but when I start up, I'm making my colors fading a little bit. I feel tired more than I ever did. I keep trying to find what I left behind.
Hey, well, it's not too bad. Hey there, everybody. Hello, good evening. Ooh. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me tonight. I didn't send out any announcements, didn't do any promotion. Today has been a day. We had a lot of technical difficulties. We did a recording earlier, and things just did not go according to plan. But I wanted to make sure that I got on here tonight. Anyway, despite the fact things have been technically challenging today. With that said, we're going to go ahead and take a few deep breaths. But I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm sure it's alerting people, letting them know that we are here. Ooh, that was an accident. Letting them know that we are here. So you're getting to see the raw deal of what goes on behind the scenes as we wait. We're going to send out a little message in our Patreon and let them know. I think I have my phone here to let them know that we're here live. Because like I said, I did not get an opportunity to let people know that we're live tonight. And so if you are coming on, if you're checking in, please put in the chat where you're checking in from. We greatly appreciate it. Let us know. Let's see. Patreon. Trying to keep, so tonight we were supposed to have our support group, and we did our support group today. It was phenomenal. Our online support group today was phenomenal. And as we were getting ready to end, I realized that it was not a recording. Talk about an experience with grief and loss. But the beautiful thing is, we get a chance to show up no matter what, right? Keep our word, honor our word. And when we can't honor our word, we try to let folks know. So I was debating on whether I should go ahead tonight and do part 2 of the interview I had with the beautiful Nikki. We have a part 2. I'm leaning toward going ahead and sharing it with you guys. But let's see who all joins us. Oh my goodness, giving me a hard time at night. It's the technology, baby. Technology is wearing me smooth out. Smooth out. Let's see. Oh, there we go. It says I'm live. There it is. Wait a minute. Where do we go? Here. Live. Live. There I am. Well, there we go. It says one watching. Who's on there? Who's on with me tonight? Who is that has checked in? Please put your name in the chat. Let me know who you are. I want to thank you for joining. Hi there. Let me say hi to you. Hi. Let me know when you turn. I was just sharing with them that I have had a lot of technical difficulties, challenges tonight. Looks like we got someone else on. Who is that that's joining with us tonight? Come on in and put in the chat where you're checking in from. I'm letting my Patreon know that we are here live. And yes, um, we are here live. And I want, there we go. There we go. And I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Listen, I was sharing that we had a technically challenging day. We had our online support group for grief and loss, and had a phenomenal. I was sharing that we had a phenomenal time, phenomenal, exceptionally good time with the ladies that was in the discussion, and realized at the end of it that it was not recording. And I said I had to talk about loss. Nowhere uh, to the degree of loss that many have experienced, but that was an experience with loss and the different multi layers when things happen and the disappointment happens that don't go. Put your name in the chat or say hi to me in the chat. Let me know where you're checking in from, please. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining to Marriage Gone Divorce. We're going to be doing part 2 for tonight, but I just want to give a little more time because I did not send out any formal announcements about tonight because it's been one of them days. Somebody say it's been one of them days. So if you could, please be so kind and let me know where you're checking in from. I would greatly appreciate it. While we're doing that, while we're waiting to see who all joins us, we're going to take some intentional breaths that helps ground us. It helps settle us. It helps put us in alignment and release what has happened, what has gone by already, because it ain't nothing we can do about that. The day's gone already. That moment is gone. That situation is gone. That experience is gone. And so we have to learn how to release it. And so that's what we're doing, learning how to release. So take a deep inhale. Hold. 2, 3, 4, and exhale through the mouth. I needed that. Man, did I need that. Inhale. Hold. 2, 3, 4. It is our breath that reminds us, and it does it every time. Reminds us whose and whom's we are. And so for that, we are forever grateful. So let me ask those of you that are listening right now, did you get an opportunity to listen to part 1? Did you listen to part 1? Did anybody here that's on right now, have you listened to part 1? And if you have, just put yes in the chat for me. Say yes, saw, heard, listened to part 1. Yeah, just let me know that you have listened to part 1. That would be great. It was a dynamic. It's the first part of the interview that we did with Nikki, and she shared. She was sharing from her heart, and we just opened up with the first part of it. So, put in the chat, please. Let me know that you listen. Let me know that you listen as we're waiting. And listening for some more to come on and join in. And let me see if I can upload part 2 so that we can hear it. Y'all quiet tonight. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Don't nobody want to say nothing to me tonight. Don't nobody want to say hi, that you're listening. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. We do it there. Video file. Oh, I don't think that's going to let me do that. Let's see if it lets me do that. I think it's
now my social anxiety.
Wait a minute. It did it. So what we're going to do is we're going to give an opportunity to take a look at part 2 of the interview, part 2, where I'm asking and talking to Nikki about where she is in her journey. We met 6 months ago, and now we're looking at where she is in her journey to date. All right, y'all ready? Okay, let's check it out.
Breaking down my the fact that I've probably been depressed clinically. So, quote unquote, I say, because wow, since I was 12 years old. And then the next therapist telling me that
Talk about that. Talk about that, maybe depressed since 12 years old, because I want to talk about that. That is not unique. That's so common, which is why as adults and grown folk, after we get through our marriages, or we are in marriages, or we are divorced, or whatever it is that we're going through, we feel exhausted, and we can't figure out why are we so exhausted.
right.
It's because we have been pushing and surviving and going past the depression and the feelings of guilt and judgment and all of that. So, audience, I want you to know that what she's sharing with you, by the way, subscribe, like, and share if you haven't. I haven't said it in 37 minutes. But subscribe, like, and share. That part right there. But what she's sharing with you is so common with us, right? That we've been in survival mode for so long. She said she realized one of the things that helped her come to terms with some things is that it's been going on since 12, and it's because things happened as a child that she learned how to suppress and push and keep going, suppress and push and keep going. And I'm sure you saw your mother suppress and push and keep going.
Right. Right. So having that confirmed for me took a lot of weight off my shoulders, because I knew at about that time was when everything started to feel heavy. My experience in my household was very unique. My experience in my childhood, I think most people don't understand. Only child, single mother, moved to Los Angeles from a slew of family in Peoria to Los Angeles at 5 to my mom was going to help her best friend become a star. She was a talented, beautiful woman. So she also had 3 kids. 2 of the kids were biracial. And one was a very talented, beautiful boy who was about 5 years older than us. The oldest girl, we were all stair steps. So one daughter came when I was 5. One was 6, I was 5, the other one was 4. Now we ain't had no beef. Me and these 2 girls, we were cool. At least I thought so. But I quickly knew that in the outside world, one of these things were not like the others. And my mama knew it. And funny enough, their mom, I don't think, subscribed to that nonsense. I never felt more accepted and beautiful than with that woman who should have been a star, but she had mental illness. And so from 5 to 7, we were all together. I started 1st grade. I started becoming very popular, very known, very smart. Ran home one day and told my mama got an A. I mean, I'm smart. It's bona fide Nikki smart.
Bona fide, don't get it twisted.
I got an A on the spelling test.
Yeah.
I ran home from school. It was only across the street. Got an A on the spelling test. I'm always in the advanced reading groups. And the oldest, the one above me, burst out crying. And Nana Joy, because she didn't get an A, because she wasn't as smart as me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I got a beating. I mean, old school. We from the country ish.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, but what my beating was for being braggadocious in front of Michelle. I didn't know what the fuck this girl got. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of me. I was not congratulated. I was shunned. I was shamed. I was told to be quiet. You're doing too much. You don't
Mm-hmm.
deserve. All this stuff started. And so that's what therapy did for me, was let me go back and see, well, when the fuck did
You
these
was
limiting beliefs,
able to unpack it. Yeah,
I was
unpack
able to
where
unpack it.
the not
And
enough that it was. So, ladies and gentlemen, what she's saying is it allowed her that space to unpack where I'm not enough, and I got to keep working to prove that I am enough. And what she was talking about is colorism. When she talked about, um, the
right.
distinction in the world. Chocolate girls like us wasn't considered to be pretty, and quite frankly, we are, I think, more of a fetish today. I could be wrong.
I don't think we're a fetish. I don't think we're a fetish. I think we
Okay.
can be fetishes to some, but I
Okay.
think we are the fuck what we are, beautiful ass women.
Well, I
And
believe that. So let me ask you. Let me ask you. Let me ask you. Chocolate women like myself and like Nikki, and you may be watching. Um, do you see yourself as beautiful? Do you feel like you are fetishized in the grand scheme of world? You know how sometime on what is it, the New York Fashion Show Week, and then they have the very exotic, beautiful chocolate woman that has distinct features. And now that's considered extremely beautiful. And even back in the day, they were considered beautiful as well. But what do you feel? Do you feel like, even as a light skinned woman, or light skinned man, or a dark skinned man, do you feel that has played a factor in how you've moved in the world? Something to think about. How your self worth may have become intertwined in how in your relationships. Just something to think about as you're unpacking and getting clear about the choices that has been made um, in marriage and relationships and in general. Just something to think about. The other thing I want you to remember is please stop, like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. This is a dynamic conversation. Okay, let's get back to what she has to say. True. Mm-hmm.
and no, and I say this to, and everybody knows it, and period, as simple as that. Now, how white supremacy and how brain dead, brainwashed people show up in this world is making us feel like we need to jump for joy that you acknowledge our beauty. But
Mm,
how can you not acknowledge my beauty? I'm beautiful,
there it is.
you know?
So let me ask you this, Nikki. This is good. So when you talk about that, in the sense of it started in first grade, kindergarten, first grade, and you go through going through therapy helped you to unpack it. Now you get to the space of high school, and you get into the room of dating and picking a husband or choosing a husband.
That wasn't happening to the girl in high school that looked like me. I wasn't dating. My husband was my second boyfriend and my last boyfriend up until I was 51 years old.
Look
I
at
didn't
that.
date. No one admitted to ever wanting to be with me, except for one or two white boys, which was really interesting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I also, even though I knew that in my mind, once high school ended, I was moving to Paris. Are you? I'm moving to Paris. I'm about to be a model. Oh, y'all, because y'all don't recognize all of this. But in the meantime, I also couldn't step into that. Like, I couldn't show that outside.
Mm.
I'd be in my mirror affirming who I am, but outside, I wasn't in that affirmation. I did, however, recognize the ones that saw. I peeped who saw me. Whether they saw me for my quirkiness, whether they saw me for my beauty, whether they saw me for my cool ass musical taste or whatever, I recognized the people who saw me, but I also hid in the shadows because it would be, look, the way I identified with tragic. I was on Instagram today, and I'm on Instagram every day. And and they showed a clip of Rocky Dennis and from Cher, The Mask.
Mm-hmm.
I used to identify as this person, as Rocky Dennis.
Wow.
I watched Carrie 2 years ago and cried like a baby because I realized Carrie I identified with Carrie, but I didn't realize the reason why I identified with Carrie was because Carrie had a mother that was similar to mine.
Wow.
And when I watched Carrie, I was like,
wow. You saw it from a whole nother perspective.
mm-hmm. My mom wasn't evil. She don't need to be crucified.
No, I got you. But, no, and that's not what she's saying, people, by the way.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about here, and that's not what she's saying. She has let me tell you, her mama was a beautiful mama. That was a girl, right? But what she's saying is that her mother had unhealed wounds as well. And those unhealed wounds, she learned how to survive with her unhealed wounds and take care of herself and her child with her unhealed wounds, and that
with her unhealed wounds. And she transferred them healing because it was, how could she not? Yes. I don't blame her because she didn't know. She didn't know that she didn't know she was a colorist. She thought she was protecting me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because, I think a lot of times I can think of a situation. I think a lot of times when I look at I look at my family too, and I look at the elders, and most of my elders have transitioned, but there was definitely an element, and it wasn't intentional, but there was now my mother would get you straight in half a second because they would say, why is she the darkest one in the family? And she don't look like the rest of you. My mother would say, what do you mean she don't look? Because of the color of her skin? What are you talking about? That's mine. Right. Right. But I think that is one of because, society, and they had learned how to, it was just so much a part of society and living that I don't even, like you said, I don't even think they recognized within themselves that, they were living that and perpetuating that onto, even when it comes to how we did our hair. The truth of the matter, if you were, that's a whole nother subject matter. And to this day, we have a challenge with our hair. We do. And we would be lying to say otherwise, and how we're viewed causes and creates a challenge with our hair. Even when it comes, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
The first last boyfriend, the one from last year, said two things to me, which I was like, you're not safe here. One was because I used to have a shaved head.
I was rocking it. Let me just tell you, if y'all saw her pictures when she said she was going to Paris, this one right here, that's all I'm saying. Beautiful. Okay.
So he saw the pictures, and pictures, some of them are hanging in the house. He was like, you know what? If I'd have met you back then, he don't talk like that. He talks like Barack Obama, but it sounded like that. If I So if I would have met you like that, I wouldn't have talked to you because your hair is bald, and I like women with long hair. And I was like, dude, we this age and we this far into this, and you're literally gonna tell me this right now.
Man.
Yeah, I love your hair now, and da 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 da. But and then a month or two later, we're rolling the car, and I make a statement about weaves. May have been judgmental, may or may have not. I'm thinking about how judgmental it was. It wasn't too judgmental, but when he said,
I know you, Nikki. No, but it's okay.
But it wasn't too. I've gotten better. I was wearing. Remember when I was wearing wigs?
Yeah, I remember you was wearing the wig.
Come on,
girl. Yeah, I remember. And was rocking that too.
And was rocking them wigs like shit. So, but anyways, he says to me, "I like women with weaves," and I was like, "Oh, these are by the way, these are locks." And I said, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah, I like women with nice hair, like my mother." Now, some people say, "What's wrong with him having a preference?" Not with you. But
not when you got a woman that don't look like that's
It's not about the preference. It's about the nice hair.
The nice hair part of it.
So I was just like, well, what makes the hair nice? Is it because it's neat? It's washed and coiffed? What makes the hair nice? Pray tell. Well, it's straight and it's long and da 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 da. And I was like, why are you with a person that doesn't see you as a nice haired woman when my hair is nice? And you know what he meant. He don't see you. Why are you settling for another man that won't value you?
And what did you conclude? Why were you willing to settle for a man that didn't value you the way you needed to be valued? Because everybody's needs are different.
I was used to it because I was used to it, and I was willing to lose my soul to love on someone that wasn't going to love me in the way my soul deserved.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is something that we must look at with ourselves. And it's not always an easy thing to look at with ourselves. Why are we willing to sacrifice self at any cost? And pretty much, is it because of how we've been taught? Is it the misunderstanding and belief of what sacrifice and what marriage and union is? Does it mean compromise self? Does it mean not have a voice? I think that's something that we all have to relook at, because for our marriages to heal and survive and to live and to blossom, and for our family structures to become whole and complete, there's some stats that are out, and I'm at that are out around the marriages, two-parent households and marriages in the Black community, and the stats on them are staggering. I don't have them in front of me right now, but the stats in terms of the longevity is not the same. And then even when we talk to some of our elders, them staying in marriages, a few of them will say that they would do it again, but many of them I have found have said that they would never do it again the way they did. So I ask you, there's something to be said about being able to stay together and to get through the difficulties and to find that rhythm with your partner. There is also something to be said about losing yourself, and when I say self, when we understand who we are, mind, body, and spirit, what I'm coming to learn and understand, when we're understanding who we are, mind, body, and spirit, and we unite and become one with another human being, what does that mean and what does that really look like? I'm leaning toward that person is understanding who they are, mind, body, and spirit. And when we come together as a unified front, we are whole and complete. Right. But I don't come as half a person and the other individual comes as a half a person. We must be wholly complete in who we are, in our understanding of the God in us. And so I think this is a really, 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 really important point that Nikki is talking about in this discussion that we're having. By the way, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I need your subscriptions. I need to get my algorithm up, and I need you to make sure that you check us out on the next time for part 3 that's coming up. Okay? All right. Here we go. How have you gotten to the space now where you are unwilling to settle and be uncompromised?
I didn't say I was unwilling to settle yet.
It's honest.
Right. Yeah, I didn't say I think there's negotiations. It's funny that you talked about Christianity. This particular person was a Christian. This is how much I was willing to become a Christian.
I was in shock. Let pause, because I was like, well, okay, praise the Lord, but I wasn't
because, again, it was like, what's the worst that could happen? I could either be in love and be happy and go to the pearly gates and do all that resurrection stuff. If that is what it is, it's a win-win situation. So I'm willing to go for the win. But this person wouldn't go for the same win with me. He couldn't even see the foundation of how deep of a sacrifice.
Yes, breathe it out. Yes. Yes. It's okay. That's the power of, that's not infatuation. That's the power of love. That's the power of love. Love's sacrifices. But I remember in one of the interviews we had in last season, I think it was Latrice, she says, but love doesn't sacrifice, you don't sacrifice your voice. You don't sacrifice your essence. There is a sacrifice and there is a give and there is a take. There is a balance. But that's the power of love. When you're willing, you'll do whatever it takes to, and you'll try it. Even if you're not sure, you'll step past your uncertainty and you'll try it, right? Just to see, because you love this person and you want to be with this person and you want this person to be, the word that keeps coming up is happy with you, love you, appreciate you. It's simple as that. Care about you to the same degree that they will have the same patience, right? That you give and have for the other person. And so that's what it is. That's the power of love. And that is not the thing, Nikki, that I think we are learning and have learned. I know I have learned is that the power of love is not the problem. It's not.
That actually soothed my heart when you said it.
Yeah.
It put another, that was love. And I was like, yes. That's what I be flowing with. That's what I be coming with.
Yeah. And you said, no, it's right. That's it. It's a win-win. It's a win-win. It's the same thing. You and I have said, what is the difference in our relationship where we may not agree. We may, have whatever happened, but we forgive each other. We chuck it off and we keep it moving.
Right.
What happens in a marriage, a long-term relationship, where the expectations change for their humanness, where it becomes imbalanced, right? Where we're not able to, well, that's it. The expectation change, and we're not able to give that same gratitude or grace in that marriage, in that relationship. What happens that we can give what a homegirl, a homeboy, And I think what I'm coming to terms with is there's a greater respect that we have for a homegirl, for a homeboy. We have a different kind of respect. And then when that respect, the truth of the matter is, when that boundary is crossed one too many times, we bow out from that too.
I've had, speaking of the homegirls, that's the other thing I've learned. I've actually had more girlfriend breakups than I've had boyfriend breakups. And I'm good. Some of them hurt really bad, but I maybe for me it's a little bit of opposite, because I'm like, if I wouldn't take that from a man.
Oh, there it is. Shirley ain't finna take it from you.
The fuck?
Gotcha. Well,
You got me fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's been some like, wow. It's been a lot of understanding that, even with my men, some of them, I have been lucky to get, even though they stupid, some really, really intelligent, smart, really handsome men around me.
They be fine. What you talking about? You be getting some fine ones. Fine.
However, that was also an operation of lack. Not saying I don't appreciate a fine specimen and don't want another fine specimen, but I also realized that a lot of that at some point had to come from me wanting to prove that I can, because that little girl was told she shouldn't and couldn't and can't. There's no way in hell. You're second class. You don't belong. So now if I'm showing up with these fine ass men, even though, why not? Why not? They showing up with a beautiful woman. It was more about me fulfilling that little girl, and there were so many examples of how I had to, you don't deserve, go to the back. So I'm not saying that I'm not on the lookout for the prettiest, beautifulest, tallest, sexiest man, finest, most talented, smartest. I love that, even though one talked me to death.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 2 of the interview that we had with the beautiful Nikki, and she dropped some very good, powerful gems in there that prayerfully, it's my prayer, my intention to have these sharings to cause you to think, cause you to pause, think about the choices that we're making in relationships and why we're making these choices in relationships. You deserve nothing short of the very best of the best that God has for you. You deserve nothing short of the very best of the best of what's in store for you. You deserve that. Every human being walking on the face of the earth deserves to have nothing but the best of the best that God had. There's a scripture that talks about it's the pleasure of God to give. It is His pleasure. It is the pleasure of the Creator to bless you and to give you the best of the best. All has been created by the Creator. For us, a cattle on 1,000 hills. There's another scripture that talks about a cattle on 1,000 hills belongs to the Lord. And it is his intention to bless us with all that. The question is, do we believe we deserve what God has for us? Because if we're in conflict and of the mind that we don't deserve what God has for us, because that's how we've been conditioned to think, we've been conditioned to believe that we are putting ourselves in a higher position than God. And I submit to you, as I always have and as I will continue to do, it is impossible to love God and be in a relationship with God and not love self. Impossible. You can tell when your relationship is out of sync with the creator of all life because you are out of sync. Your thinking, your mind, your operation, what we seek for, our coping skills, how our relationships are showing up. So it's real important that we allow ourselves to heal. And when I say heal, it doesn't mean that two things are not true at the same time. That was one of the things that came out today, and I thought it was so awesome. It doesn't mean that I'm a work in progress and I am deserving of God's best. It doesn't mean that I still have some things that I am developing, growing, and maturing in, and that I have matured in areas and that I'm strong. There's another scripture that says, let the weak say that I am strong. So there are areas in my life where I need fortification. I need to be fortified. I need strengthening in blind spots. There's some things that I may not see, but it does not mean that I still yet don't deserve the best of the best that God has for me. That's not what that means. It doesn't mean that I don't deserve a healthy relationships, a healthy marriage, healthy family. But the only way that shows up healthy is when I become healthy, because I am now able to move and identify and operate in a different way. I hope you guys hear that. Dynamic discussion. Don't forget to like and share. Leave your comments, leave your feedback. And tell me, share with me, what is it that you would like to hear more of? We got a part 3 to this, the conclusion of the matter, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. We have a part 3. But what else would you like to talk about? Our intention here is to inspire and uplift. You know, if people ask, why do I do what I do? I've been encouraged to step out here and offer a space for men and women to have discussion, a public space, a private space, a safe space, to have discussion about our marriages and our relationships and what's going on in our communities and what can we do to heal. And I do this while I'm healing. While I go through my experiences and my changes and my growth and my ups and my downs and my uncertainties and my certainties. I'm certain that as long as there's breath in our body, as long as we know that this breath that has been given to me, that my mind, my breath can't be taken by anybody. Nobody can take that, because it is the creator who gave it to me. And that means he has created me. I have been created as the very essence of God in the earth. That means I ain't no junk. That means you not no junk. Yet we are distinctly different. But it's our breath that calls us family. All righty. There's a lot in our world that's going on. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of folks experiencing lack. There's a lot of fear, a lot of concern, hatred. It's a lot going on in our world. But as we heal individually, collectively, we're going to see transformation. We got some difficult days ahead of us, but I believe we can do it if we're willing to have the real conversations and the real dialogue about this wonderful journey called life. All righty. With that said, I am going to go ahead and check out. I do hope you subscribe, like, and share. I hope that you go back and look at part 1 of this interview. Part 3 will be coming out. I hope that you also go back and look at previous episodes. We have some dynamic episodes. I'm calling this season 2, but actually it could be an extension of season 1. We just kind of took a little break during the holidays. So we will be back. Iris Inspires TV. We have, as you look at our channel, we have a prayers and breath work and meditation. We have a space for caregivers that is sponsored by Center of Empowerment, the acronym COIN PM. We have the Grief and Loss Support Group online that is sponsored by Center of Empowerment. And we have some other things that are going to be, I just was not able to drop it just yet, in terms of those that's looking out for us here to do well and be good. All right. So check out the channel. Check out the channel. All righty. With that said, I guess it's that time. It's that time to say good night. It's that time for you not to forget who and whom's you are. I'm looking for my outro here. That's what I'm looking for, y'all. All righty. Where is it? I think this is it. Hopefully this is it. All right. Thank you again for joining us. If you like what you hear, subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe, like, and share. And to my Patreon community, give me your feedback. You looking at this live in our private room. So peace and blessings, and we shall see you next time. Thank you for the good vibes and for joining in the conversation tonight on Marriage Gone Divorce. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.